Okay guys, so today I'm going to make an Easter bonnet. You can simply follow me along. All you'll need for this craft is some big sheets of paper. The thicker the better, but you can use normal paper if you like. Some scissors and a pencil, maybe a ruler, some Pritt stick, or if you don't have Pritt stick, some sellotape is fine. Maybe a stapler if you want to use a stapler, and some paint if you want to use paint, and of course you can use anything you want to decorate it. I used a bit of cotton wool, but you can use ribbons, tissue paper, the nice foil from your Easter eggs will make really beautiful decorations. So I'm going to show you how to make this. It's really simple, really easy. It'll probably take you 20 minutes at the most if you paint it like I did, but you don't have to paint it. Yay! To start making your bonnet, you're going to need to make a donut shape. So I'm going to take this big bowl and I'm going to draw around it to create a circle. Now we all know that the best donuts have a hole in the middle, and so you're going to need to draw another circle in the middle of this one to make a hole, and that needs to be relatively the same shape as your head or size of your head. So if you've got a hat, you could probably use that here. I'm actually just going to use the base of my bowl. I need to make sure I'm actually in center. Yeah, so you can use a hat. If you've got a hat, you could use that here. I'm literally just going to draw around my bowl, and then, actually I might get a plate. I'm going to get a plate, and then I'm going to cut them out. So that's what I'm going to do. Ta-da! There's my donut. Oh, you can't see it because of the light. Oh, there you go. There's my donut. What you can do, if you're using plain paper like me, is you could paint it, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to paint it, and then you're going to cut it out. So you need to cut out the big donut, and then you also need to cut out the little donut. Now be careful when cutting out, and if you need help, get someone to help you with the scissors, and then I'll be right back. So whilst our donut is drying, we're going to draw the brim of our hat, and so we want to make two thick rectangle shapes. So I have measured out on here a 20 centimetre wide rectangle, as long as the paper that I have. So I'm going to make two of those. So I'm going to mark it out 20 centimetres wide, as long as the paper, and then I'm going to cut it out and fold it in half. And I need two of these to make sure I have enough to go around the rim of my hat. And this is going to connect the top of the hat to the brim of the hat and create a little bit of height. So here we go, I'm cutting it out. And then taking it out of my pad, and I'm going to fold it in half. Now when I was marking out my 20 centimetres wide, I also marked out the centre. You see those little, I marked out the centre, so when I fold it in half, I can follow the edges and make sure that it's really in the middle. Oop. There you go. Fold it in half, and you're all done. Good, beautiful. From here, you're going to fold it in half again. Making sure that we really line up the edges so that we're making it as neat as possible and as even a fold as possible. And it's quite tricky. You're going to have to use your fingers, use your strength of your muscles to fold it like so. Okay? Now when we unfold this, we'll have a couple of lines that we can work with. Ta-da! So both bottom and top sections can fold into the middle. And we can start to draw some lines which are going to give us some triangle shapes. So drawing some triangle shapes is going to give us little folds that we can attach our hat to. So if I unfold it, I'll show you my lines. There's my middle line, there's my bottom line and my top line. So if I fold it in half once more, I now have the two lines sitting on one another and I can draw some triangles. Now these triangles don't have to be straight, they just have to be triangles. So you can do whatever you'd like. And it's going to help us fix our hat together. So I'm drawing some very rough triangles which I'm going to cut out with my scissors next. Whoop. Okay, so when you unfold it, you now have some triangles at the top and the bottom. There you go, see? Some teeth at the top and the bottom. And I've got this nice long rectangle here. Now, again, if you're using plain paper like I am, you might like to paint it at this stage, and that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to paint this bit, and then I'll get back and we're going to put it together. Okay, so while everything is drying, I'm going to make a little tail to put on top of my hat. Sounds strange, I know, but it's going to work. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a Pritt stick and I'm going to make a little circle of glue nearly in the middle of the hat. Now I want quite a lot of glue because I want it to stick my cotton wool. So I took a cotton pad, I didn't have any cotton wool, and I'm pulling it apart to make kind of like a fluffy shape. And I'm going to stick it into my dot of glue. I'm going to add some more glue on top of that so I can start building it up. Or maybe actually I'll do it this way. I'll add it onto the cotton wool itself and I'll build it up a little bit so that I can make a nice round fluffy tail. Again, I'm just going to add a little bit of glue, add it onto the sides. There's my little fluff. There's my little fluffy tail. That'll do. Perfect. So I painted my ears, these triangles. The bit that I cut in the center, I'm going to fold over slightly so that they become a little bit more 3D in shape. And all I'm going to do is put a staple. You could use some tape on the back if you don't have a stapler. Mine are a little bit wet, so yeah, don't do it when they're wet. But yeah, you take this and you're just going to fold over the center so that you create a little 3D shape. And you put a staple in the bottom. And there are 2 ears. Okay, so once we've let everything dry, and we do have to let everything dry, we're now going to attach our rectangle with teeth to our donut and to our circle top. And so what we're going to do is we're going to start by folding or rolling this and stapling the ends together. So I'm creating a circle. Oh, I need to lift you up a little bit so you can see what I'm doing. So I'm creating a circle, and you can either tape, glue the ends together. I'm actually just going to use a stapler because I find it works pretty well. With a staple. Make sure you don't tear it like I nearly just did then. Staple, again, tape, glue, whatever you want. I'm using a stapler, make it nice and quick. So the teeth that we had at the top and the bottom are now going to glue or help us stick this now round piece to our brim. So you can see I'm folding over my teeth so that when I sit it down on the table, the teeth are pointing outwards. And you can either use glue or sellotape to do the next bit. But what you're going to do is you're going to go like this, put your donut over the top, and you can glue this bit together if you like. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put glue. So I'm going to use a bit of glue on my triangles. Do a few at a time so that you don't lose too much of your stickiness from your glue. You're going to put your hat over top and start to squish your triangles to stick to that. I turn to the side, and now I'm going to pick up the brim and do the same thing on this side, putting some glue on my triangles, a few at a time, unfolding it and pushing my triangles onto the bottom so that it sticks. And I'm going to keep doing that all the way around until I've done all of the triangles. Now to check that I've done all the triangles, I'm going to flip it over. See, I missed one right there. So if I put a bit of glue on that one and fold it over. There you go. Oh, I missed one there too. So you can put a bit of tape if you want on this side, if you want to keep it really strong. So you could take some tape. I've only got this green masking tape. And if you want, you can always put some tape over them too if you want to keep them from lifting up. When the glue dries, it should be fine. So we're going to push it back down. I'm going to give these a nice bit of strength to push them all down and make sure they stay nice and flat. Now we're going to do the top. So we're going to fold these bits inwards. Fold them in like this. And we're going to do the same. So you're going to apply glue, and then we're going to sit this bit on top. So I'm going to put the glue on all mine, and then I'm going to turn it over and squash it down from the inside. So lots of glue on here. Again, you can use tape and do this from the inside. I'm just going to do this really quickly with the glue. can show you. Turn it around. Making sure I get a nice bit of glue on each of my triangles. It's a little bit messy, but that's okay. We can wash our hands afterwards. There you go. Glue on all of my triangles. So I'm going to position my bit on top. And then I'm going to turn it over. Oh, I slipped already. And from the inside, I'm going to start to squash my triangles down. So once I've got it on top, I'm making sure I keep it nice and still. I flip my hat on over and I push down my triangles from the inside. And again, if you need to, you can use some tape. You can tape your outside triangles, your inside triangles, whatever you need to do. I'm going to add a little bit because my glue's not really dry and I wanted to do this quickly and show you. You can tape over your triangles and keep them nice and flat. You can do the same on the inside and I'll show you. So you can see on the inside I put some tape just to get all my triangles to sit flat so I can show you the next stage. I'm going to put a bit of tape on the outside triangles to keep them down too. Once your glue dries you don't need to do this, but I'm rushing ahead to show you what to do next. Good, so once you've done all that, you can now decorate. You can decorate it any way you want. You've seen me add a tail to mine, so that should give you a clue about what kind I'm decorating mine. I want to make mine into a little bit of a bunny. So I've got a fluffy tail. I made some ears. You've seen me make those. I'm going to put my ears on here. So again, you can use tape or glue. I am actually going to staple mine again, just because it's a little bit quicker. Staple wasn't very good, Lou. And you can take extra time with yours to make sure yours is neat. I'm trying to do mine very quickly to show you how to do it. There you go. There's my bunny ears. I'm going to fold one over so that kind of looks like that. And then I made some little bunny feet. My little bunny feet, and I'm actually going to stick them onto the front, and I'm just going to use normal Pritt stick to do that. I'm going to make sure I put a lot of glue onto them so they stick really well. You could use tape if you wanted to. One and two. And there's my bunny feet. So there you go. There's my quick and easy Easter bonnet. Very simply made for you. You could decorate your bonnet with little Easter eggs, ribbons, paper, tissue paper, flowers would be really beautiful. But there's mine, and if you wanted to, you could add some elastic underneath and then you could pop it on your head and it wouldn't blow away. But I can show you mine. Mine fits my head perfectly. There you go. So, if you make an Easter bonnet, take a picture, send it to Lucy, and I'd love to see what you make. Have a good Easter, enjoy your Easter crafts. I'll see you next week.